Hi, everybody. It's your favorite hood witch. It's your favorite hood healer. It's your favorite up the street, around the corner, around the way, hood priestess, lady speech in the place to be. And I want to welcome you back to my channel. You could be anywhere in the world. You are somewhere in the world. And you could be anywhere in the world. But you are here with me, giving you, giving me, giving us, giving we your time and attention. And that is valuable currency. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate you for that. So thank you very much. If you're feeling me, if you like what I'm saying, if you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that like button. And make sure you hit that notification button so you can keep up with all my shenanigans. All right. So today is one of many videos. I'm thinking something in me says I'm gonna come at this subject in several ways, in several different and from several different perspectives. So this is just the first of which I'm going to unpack with you. Adventures in being an ex-Jehovah Witness. All right, from Jehovah Witness to Voodoo High Priestess. This has been quite a journey. So let's talk about it. Let's unpack it. So I am a healer. I am a conjurer. I've been doing hoodoo. I've been practicing hoodoo for several years, for a very long time, for over 15 years. I'm a spiritualist. I'm a mystic. I am a diviner. I read tarot. I am a medium. I do a lot of mystical magic type of things. And I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been leading this lifestyle for a very long time. I'm a spiritualist. All those things I just described, I claim, high priestess, all of those things. I am currently on my journey and on my path in Haitian voodoo. So I am on the path to become a mambo in Haitian voodoo. Like at the recording of this video, I am, and at the posting of this video, I am currently on the path to be a mambo in the Haitian voodoo tradition. This is something that is a calling. This is something that I was given a very prophetic reading years ago. Actually, there were two readings. The first reading I ever got, and I had been giving readings for a year, and then I got my first reading, actually. And I'll tell you the story about how that all came to be. But I was giving readings for a year before I even got my first reading. And the first thing I went to my priestess and was like, am I supposed to be a high priestess? Because I've been having these dreams and these feelings and things. A lot of people come and be like, what's my love life like? What's money? I was like, fuck all that. What's my spiritual path? Because I had a dream that I was a priestess, and that feels like home. And my priestess, at the time, my spiritual guide teacher, she was like, this is true. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. And then I had a different reading. I had a different reading at a different point in my spiritual journey that really was pointed me directly to this path and showed me actually the steps of which that I was going to take to get here. So this is where I am now. My spiritual path, my spiritual walk, the spiritual journey has been very intricate and very integral in my healing. It's been a really crazy and incredible journey. But I did not begin here. I was not raised to be any of this. I was not raised to be any of this. I began as a Jehovah Witness. I began as, I credit that my biggest influence when it comes to my childhood and when it comes to religion was Jehovah Witness. I was raised as one of Jehovah Witnesses. And so it wasn't my entire childhood, but the bulk of my childhood. This was the religious framework that was at play in my life. So all of who I am, all of what I do, the essence of who I am and the essence of what I do has always been there. The gifts that I have, earlier in my description, I said that it was a medium. There are gifts when it comes to divination, when it comes to knowing things, when it comes to vision. I've had a lot of these gifts like began to bloom in those early ages and in my early childhood, and I had no spiritual support around that because the bulk of my childhood was, the focus and the framework, the spiritual framework and focus was being a Jehovah Witness, and within the boundaries and within the confines of being raised as one of Jehovah Witnesses. So that is the beginning, and that, my friends, as you can see, is an extreme. It is an extreme. It is an extreme. How does one go from being raised Jehovah Witness, which is a wild religion? If you are watching this, you probably have access to Google, so you can Google Jehovah Witness. You can watch a few programs and shows about Jehovah Witnesses. You can educate yourself and come to a little bit of understanding about how wild that place is and what it was and what it is. And like I said, there's a lot to unpack, so I'm not going to get into all of that right now. And there is Google, so you can Google all of that, and I encourage you to, because the story is wild. All right, the story is wild. How does one go from the extreme of being raised Jehovah Witness to initiating into voodoo? Through a lot of soul searching. A whole lot of prayer, and a genuine quest for healing and for God. Through a genuine connection with God, with Creator, with ancestors, with Spirit, with universe. Through a lot of introspection, a whole heap load, lots of prayer, a lot of meditation, and a connection to Creator and to God. Even during the phases in my life, my childhood, there were phases when I was being raised as one of Jehovah Witness where you just go along with the flow because you're a kid and that's the household, and I didn't really have a real connection. Then there was a part where I was becoming spiritually aware of myself and really starting to ponder some esoteric, some philosophical things, some spirit. I was really starting to the concept of spirituality was really starting to come alive for me. And so there was a moment when being a Jehovah Witness wasn't something, I wasn't relating to it as just something that my parents did, so I did it. I wanted to understand if this was something for me and what this thing was and what God was for real. I wanted to have my own very real understanding of this. And it is within being a Jehovah Witness where I really began to develop this quest to know God, to know Creator, to know and have a connection with my spirituality and with spirituality. And I began with what was handed to me, which was being a Jehovah Witness. And there was a moment within my childhood where I was just doing it because I was being told to do it. And then there became a moment when I did it to learn more about it, and I did it to understand if this was something I wanted to do. And if this is a way that I wanted to connect to Creator. At the same time that awakening was going on, I was also admitting to myself that I was dealing with a lot of mystical things that I didn't have an outlet or a way to speak about, or someone to speak to it about, or I didn't have a way to express it. I didn't have a way to make sense of another set of issues I was having, in addition to childhood issues and being a young survivor issues. But I was having a whole set of spiritual issues that, being a Jehovah Witness, there was no explanation, and there was no, the only explanation for things that were very naturally going on with me were demonic. Oh, that's demonic, or if that's of the spirit world, or you're accessing, demonic entities. But yes, it was it was, pursue. I took being a Jehovah. There was a time when that I crossed over from doing it because my parents told me to, or because I was being raised to do it, taking it to see if this was for me, and then understanding if this was for me. And then there came a point when I understood that being a Jehovah Witness was not for me. There came a point where I was clear. And I was also simultaneously clear that God was real, and that spirituality was real, and spirit was real. Something in me, I inherently knew that those things, I had a connection to that. For me, Creator was real. For me, God was real. For me, Spirit was real. And I understood that there was good aspects of it and not so great aspects of it, and gray areas of it. There was something about that whole process that I understood, and I knew, and I recognized. I took a cue from there when I left my family at 18 years old. I took that cue from there and was like, I obviously am into something that is a lot more ancient than, I'm just connected to something that's old. After leaving my family at 18 years old, and thereby also leaving being a Jehovah Witness and all of those commitments and leaving the Kingdom Hall, I stumbled into Islam. Islam really appealed to me. I liked the rituals. I liked the ritualisticness of it. I liked the ceremonial aspect of it. I liked the antiquity of it, and it really did connect. It wasn't until I encountered, and I was really heavily considering and studying, becoming Muslim. And then I discovered Sufism. And it was via Sufism that it clicked for me, that I was like, wait a minute, I'm attracted to the magic. And I remember that being a very concrete thought. And then I went on a tangent and did all this research, and then I encountered footage of the whirling dervishes and documentaries, and it just clicked for me during one of these. I was watching a tape performance, and it just clicked for me. I was like, it's the magic. It's the magic. And like, I really feel this was the ancestors at this point saying, find the way it relates to you. Find the way it looks like you. You need to seek how it reflects you. How does it reflect you? And it started me on that shifted, that thought process, and that encounter with Sufism is actually what shifted my thought process around spirituality. And I immediately looked back and I began to research, and I was attracted to Ifa and voodoo. I was attracted to Santeria, and I was mainly, actually, truth be told, I was attracted to Santeria first. And then via that, I also researched voodoo. And then through that, I got familiar with Ifa. And it was through there that I knew I had found home. I knew that felt so familiar. Everything about all three of those spaces, and I studied for a minute and really couldn't figure out which way I was going and which way was up. And then it came from me, my spiritual path came down to Ifa and voodoo. And in the beginning, Ifa won out. In the beginning, I got initiated into a temple in Ifa. So that is what started my journey. That was the next part of my journey, doing. And through that aspect, I learned about conjure. I learned about hoodoo. I was introduced to conjure work, and I was introduced to the world of hoodoo, and just began to develop my study, and begin to call my spiritual teachers and call my guides and gurus to me. And eventually that led me to where I am right now. And through study, through prayer, and just through a diligent walk, and a mission for healing, and a mission towards expressing my highest spirituality and my highest self via my spirituality, we have come home to voodoo. This is what it is. So wildly enough, it is my contact with, it is my research of Sufism that sparked the light, that turned on the fire in me to pursue African traditional religion. And when I began to pursue African traditional religion, all the lights in me went off, and I knew that I was home, and I knew that I just need but study, I need but learn, I need but take it in. So it is through that, it is through Sufism that light got turned on, and I started pursuing the study of Santeria, and then it was voodoo, and then it was Ifa, and then it was hoodoo, and conjure. It was all of those things, and that is where my walk began. And then through that walk, through that journey, I am here where I am right now. Which is initiating into Haitian voodoo. And that's that on that, folks. That's how I became, that's the Cliff Notes version of how I became. I went from being a repressed, oppressed, repressed Jehovah Witness to a sex positive, foul mouth, burlesque dancing, does what she wants, at least within the boundaries that the ancestors and the Loa and the spirits and the creator put on her. Goddess, healer, king, dancer, weirdo, cooker of zucchini, lover of sweet tea. Mambo in training. That's that on that. The Cliff Notes version, of course. So, like I said, I'm going to be coming at this from a couple of different perspectives. Okay, I'm going to be unpacking adventures in being an ex-Jehovah Witness and what this has been like, what the journey has been like. Not a lot of us make it. And I hope this video inspires and gives hope to anybody who is looking to re-indigenize, looking to reclaim their ancestral spiritual practices, but feels kind of crazy because you weren't raised in this way. You weren't, this wasn't, what you were given. This wasn't your original legacy, or you've been shamed by your family, or you feel that ancestral or that internalized or that societal shame around reclaiming something that is simultaneously foreign to you but home to you. I hope this was an encouragement for you if you find yourself struggling about that. And like I said, I'm going to unpack this subject from many different perspectives and all that good stuff. So thank you for tuning in. If you made it to the end of this video, gold star for you. You should be awfully proud of yourself. I want to thank you for all of your support. Thank you for your follows. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your subs. Thank you for your everything. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the button to get the notifications so you can keep up with all of my shenanigans, with all of my shenanigans, with all of my shenanigans, with all of my shenanigans. Also, feel free to follow me on my IG, which is Lady Speech, my Tumblr, which is Lady Speech Sankofa, or on Facebook. I've got a public artist person page, which is, you guessed it, Lady Speech. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful afternoon. Have a wonderful middle of the night. Have a wonderful whenever the hell you watching this. Have a wonderful time with it. Have a wonderful time with it. Whoever you are, whatever your pronouns are, they, them, her, he, she, whatever your name, no pronouns, whatever your pronouns are, whoever you are, have a good day. Thank you for watching. You are amazing, and I'll see you in another video. Bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button as well as that notification button to keep up with all of my videos and my latest adventures.